Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Galley La Podcast. And today we're going to be going over the hidden inventory arc of Jujutsu Kaisen that just aired. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and let us know what you thought of the arc. I figured we should talk about this before the craziness of the Shibuya arc that's about to pop off in the anime. So, I'm a Geboss, and the other one is Akainu Fanboy. And so Akainu Fanboy, what were your overall thoughts of the arc? Because I've read up through the Shibuya arc of Jujutsu Kaisen, and you're anime only. So, what are your thoughts on it?
I loved it. I've been really enjoying JJK a lot. I thought this was like a great combination of action, shock, tragedy, and characterization for a lot of these characters, you know, from Gojo and Geto. It was just really like well done. And I did enjoy the animation overall too. And it definitely got me more invested into the series for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think the animation, I think they changed up directors this season. I have to double check that, but yeah, it's kind of weird because we kind of saw Geto's whole story in reverse, because we saw him currently in the series, and then him in the Zero movie, where we got more of his motivation, and then this one, where we saw how he formed his view on life. So yeah, I was really glad revisiting this, because I had only read it once in the manga, but yeah, Geto I think is a phenomenal character. Just seeing him kind of slide into the darkness that we see in the main story, because I think him and Gojo were kind of reversed in the beginning.
Yes.
In terms of philosophical views.
To make a Naruto comparison, one was the Sasuke and one was the Naruto, and then they switched places. No, I'm joking. But I think, philosophically, and I do like how they had this expectation that they were like the two strongest, and these guys are just OP, and we see how powerful they are in the main storyline right now. So it's like, oh, they're teamed up together. How could anyone defeat and stop these guys? They're going to accomplish this mission. And then they both get humbled incredibly, you know? Which does lead to them changing who they are, and also the division between their team too. You know, so Toji did like a lot of damage in a lot of different ways, you know?
Yeah. Well, touching on Toji really quick, what'd you think of him? Because a lot of people are fans of him, but you didn't seem that big on him.
Oh, he was fine. You know, I think
maybe it's just the female fans that really went ham for him.
I think I wasn't too much of a fan of him popping Rico. You know, I was just like, because I did like Rico. I thought she was cool, and like I love to see how she gets killed because it's tragic and it's good story writing, right? But I'm just like, poor Rico, you know. And I think kind of it was kind of on that note. It was an interesting expectation with Satoru, where Gojo just like basically like not, you know, you kind of expect him to go like full Gon Hunter, he just like full rage mode and just start killing, but he was just in this weird blissful state, you know. And it was an interesting. I did kind of want the rage mode, but it was a good undercutting of my expectations. And but when you do see him interact with the religious cult leaders later, you're just like, oh wait, no, he's actually like furious right now, you know. So because he's like, hey, you know, like Geto, should I like kill all these guys right now? Basically,
yeah,
you know.
Right. I kind of wish he did.
Well, Geto did it later for him.
Yeah.
Which, again, I like that contrast, too, because you see Geto's corruption, you know, very quickly, you know? So I think the character... the mangaka really shows the characterization that this series provides, you know, and I think it was something we hadn't seen before, you know, to see their elevation and their fall, you know, especially since Geto kind of comes off as like this morally righteous person, and he just becomes like a total piece of shit later on, you know.
Yeah, and we got to see why he calls all the regular humans monkeys. He's pulling a Frieza. But yeah, I really like seeing like the younger characters like Shoko, before she was the nurse at the school, and Utahime and Meimei and everyone. Yeah. Also, in preparation for Shibuya, I actually rewatched the series again, and it made me appreciate a lot of the characters more, and how, like you said, like the mangaka really goes into the characters a lot, which I don't know if that's like too much to ask for shonen, but I feel like he's gotten into it a bit more and kind of offered more of a gray area in terms of morality and such. But yeah, I personally really liked Toji. He's just a fun character because he's like really skilled with like no cursed energy and using the tools and everything, and but you also got to see like his whole plan unfold with him wearing down Gojo, with him having his ability active for so long, and putting out the bounty to ensure that.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, it was like very well done.
Yeah, and we got to see kind of like how much of a scumbag he was. Like he didn't even remember like Fushigoro's name when he was first introduced. Yeah,
no, for sure. And I think, yeah, that's what I don't know. There's just his. I mean, he's a good villain, sure, but like, am I standing him? Like, no, you know. I guess like that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think he's just a really interesting villain for the series.
Yeah, especially he didn't have cursed energy, you know, right? And I think like that was a good undercutting expectations how he defeated Gojo and Geto. Right. I thought that was like really well done, and I will say like I did like Geto's facial reaction when he was told Gojo was killed.
Oh yeah, that whole the cliffhanger for, I think it was episode 3, where he like summons the different, like the dragon in that one spirit.
That was terrific.
Yeah,
that was like a really good cliffhanger, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, that.
One thing I'm gonna say on a plot point, I think maybe a little bit of a plot hole. I don't know what you'd say plot hole, but is there any security in Jujutsu High like at all?
Yeah, so it's been a while since you watched the first season, right?
Yeah.
So they mentioned briefly like all of like Jujutsu High and the other Jujutsu places, I think in Japan, are all like have like barriers protecting them by Master Tengen, who Riko was going to be assimilated with.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is, but I think Toji slipped through because he has no cursed energy.
But like any guards like at all?
I mean, we saw in the movie how Geto just kind of showed up with his crew. Remember where they confronted them to tell him about the attack?
They quickly had all the teachers on the floor, and then like even when all like the sorcerers were out in the city and everything, they still had a couple guys like behind too, you know. And I was just kind of like, where is everybody? You know.
That's fair.
You know, I was just like, just one person for like this important mission, not guiding them in and protecting them, you know?
I think they said something about them being short-staffed, but I don't know.
I don't know. It's just kind of like a different level. I mean, that makes Impel Down look like, you know, different levels of competency right there. You know, but just So actually, but I did kind of think it was interesting because I initially got the impression that Geto was working with Toji initially, when they kind of first interacted,
Okay.
kind of he was the one that gave him access. So my initial reaction was like that they were working as a team with that whole thing,
Yeah. And then that was swiftly made clear it was not the case.
Yeah, because I was waiting for the betrayal, but really you kind of see the betrayal more. Maybe we could touch on this is when he speaks to the other special grade sorcerer who was Yuki Tsukumo.
Yeah,
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, she's Todo's teacher.
Okay, yes. And so I thought that was I thought her character was super interesting. Man, I think she has a lot of blood on her hands now. For putting him down that path, but
in rewatching, I was like, it kind of is her fault. Like, she pointed Geto kind of down that path. He was heading that way, but she reaffirmed it.
And I don't really know much of anything about her character, so I can't make too much in the way of judgments. But
yeah,
it's like a Palpatine, Anakin Skywalker type of thing going on there. It was just. It was pretty good. I did enjoy their dialogue, and just seeing him slowly go crazy was good. And it was wild how, he wiped out that whole village. And it was cool how they connected back to JJK0 right there, though, by freeing the 2 young girl sorcerers, from the cage and everything, I don't know why he killed his parents, but I guess that just shows how insane and how committed he was to his cause at that point.
Yeah, I think that's what the point that was trying to be made. Because he wants to eliminate all non-sorcerers, because then that way curses won't be made anymore, because Jujutsu sorcerers have such control over their cursed energy that they won't let them manifest. So.
Yeah, and I think this also brings in more kind of a butthurt element of that he lost to Toji, what he considers a monkey, right?
Yeah.
And then the Zenin clan, the Zensu clan. Sorry, I'm blanking on their name.
The Zenin, that Maki and Mai are part of too, and technically Fushiguro. Yeah.
So when he kind of talks down to Maki too, I think you kind of can get that characterization to see more in why he's bitter to her,
Oh yeah.
A bit more, as he got clowned on so hard,
carrying that baggage.
Yeah, so it's not just he had this arrogance and this pride that I'm the ultimate pure good Jujutsu sorcerer, but I have all this power, and then he's just completely clowned on by a non-curse energy user, and so I do find, so I think his character is just really, really well written, and I think it's a great connection with JJK0 too, where you see how messed up he is and everything, and how he's so obsessed with Yuta, but at the same time he's kind of like a hypocrite, because he was willing to kill Yuta to just get his cursed energy, even though he wasn't a monkey, right?
Yeah, because it would further his plans.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's just more he wants that goal, and you can kind of like Doflamingo from One Piece, right? You could say you care about your family all that much, but at the end of the day, you see them as disposable when it comes to getting to your goal,
Yeah.
Sorry for all the comparisons in the other manga today, but that's just how my mind's working today, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I think one of my favorite scenes relating to Geto was the before we get to that, the whole this whole arc was really well animated. I was surprised at how well the choreography and the and everything with the animation stood out so much. I mean, even compared to season 1, because that had a lot of really good action, but I'm excited to see what we're gonna see in Shibuya, because that makes this whole arc look tame in comparison.
Yeah, and I really liked just the scene with Rico just going to look at the aquarium too. I just thought that was beautifully,
Yeah.
That was really terrifically done.
Yeah. I want to touch on Rico, but one of my favorite scenes with Geto was just him when he was in the shower. because I liked that they slowly like faded the sound of the shower, faded it into the claps from the from like the cult.
Yeah.
And that's when he first calls them monkeys. I really like that scene, how it faded into that.
Yeah. No, that was good.
But yeah, the whole point of this story was to keep Rico safe, which were you shocked that she was gonna die, or?
I had an assumption just because more just how to do it. From what we can tell, we haven't heard or seen anything from her, kind of thing, you know.
She could have been in hiding,
I guess, yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of got this indication that things were going to be going wrong to make them change so radically as characters. You know, that was kind of more of my vibe. You know, because yeah, like I said, you have the expectation of these two super strong sorcerers. Nobody can beat them, and then they beat them and lose. So you know, so that was kind of when you build up expectations and you have an invincible team, that means they're going to lose. That was kind of how my brain worked.
Yeah. But I really liked her character as well. I like the subversion because it was done exactly how it was in the manga, where they kidnap her her caretaker Kuroi, and then they immediately like they're gonna go get her, and then they smash cut to the beach, and that whole scene.
Yeah.
And just explain it in flashback really quick. But yeah, I think her whole story is tragic too, because I think either way, she wasn't going to have a happy ending. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, she got killed, but they were leading her to basically just not exist anymore, like basically be a battery for Tengen to keep him alive. And it really sucked because like in the end Yumi was like, oh, by the way, Geto, like the whole Tengen situation is sorted out, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's like, well, what was it kind of shows like the cruelty of like the situation, because it's like, oh, even if like if they had succeeded in like getting her out of there was a backup. Like if she hadn't even agreed. Because
they did want her to have a free life though.
Yeah.
And so she could have actually lived a free life, you know, if OG didn't mess it up, you know. But
yeah,
it kind of seems the system on both sides, you know, whether it's Toji and the people he worked for, or just the institution with Tengen is what corrupted, you know, Geto to be what he became, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, the author's no stranger to tragedy in the series, like with Junpei, or because I was rewatching that, I was like, oh, man, this is actually like really sad. But yeah, anything else you want to bring up about it?
I'm excited for the Shibuya arc.
I think I've been hyping it up for a little bit, even before like the anime came back. just in passing conversation.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that, and what Yuta messing up a Geto makes it even better after watching this arc. So
oh yeah,
I'll add that detail in there too. To see him get ass kicked. Yeah. Yeah,
I think this retroactively makes the movie better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's great stuff. But if anyone's listening still, just leave a comment, share your thoughts too. We love to listen and to hear from y'all. It means a lot to get feedback on what we do here and everything.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, like and subscribe if you like the content. And we will be coming with other Jujutsu Kaisen content soon. Shibuya arc's gonna ramp up, and we're gonna be here to cover it. So everyone, take care.
Peace.